Hello, good people. Hello, good people. I am Dr. Hollie Kelly, and this is Dr. Kelly's perspective for we're already past the midpoint of February. Today is February 15th. I will give an early shout out to my baby sister. Happy birthday, Bridget, because it is tomorrow. So thank you all for joining me. Here's what I've entitled this perspective already, Designing Your Life. And the reason I want to just spend a couple of minutes with you is, again, just to give you a different perspective. Not the best, not the only, not, just a different perspective for you to think about, consider. Hello, Miss Mary. Mary, you made me go back and start listening to his book again all over. So yesterday, designing your life. I know that everything, every instant, every step in life cannot be planned. I get that because life will happen. You will have a plan and life will come in and throw you a curveball. It will shoot you an alley-oop. Life will just sideswipe you. And so I recognize that. But I also recognize that when you have a plan, if something comes and throws your plans off of, if a distraction comes in, if a delay comes in, at least you can get back on track because you had a plan. If you don't have a plan with your life, with your career, with your relationships, with your finances, with your health, and something happens to throw you off, you are literally starting again from scratch. It's always easier to get back on a plan if you had one. So I got an email yesterday from someone who was getting ready to change. He was basically saying, thank you very much for your support. Appreciate you. I'm moving on to something bigger and better. So I went and hunted him down because I wanted to get some FaceTime to see. And I asked, this was my question, hence the title for today, Designing Your Life. I asked him, okay, I've watched you make a couple of moves in a very short period of time. Was this some master plan that you had, or are you just like, oh, that sounds good. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, that sounds good. What's going on? I wanted to hear. And he's a young man, young guy. And he, within about no more than 3 minutes, I promise you, within 3 minutes, he laid out where he came from and where he intends to go in his career, how he plans on getting there, how he's on the lookout. I mean, it was a strategically planned career path, recognizing that it may not all happen exactly how he plans, but so far he is on his game. And I just thought that was fascinating because he's a young man. And so I asked, did you have a plan? Did you create this desire? Or did someone come and tap you and say, hey, I want you to think about this, consider that? And he said it was a combination of both. But when he was first starting to buy his condo, he recognized he didn't have a lot of financial savvy. Not a lot of financial savvy. So he said he figured if he can get the financial competence, he can not only help himself, he can, make this a career path. And that's where it started. And so first of all, it made me think back to my own career path, especially starting out as a military person and now out of uniform. But it made me beg the question, are you designing your life, your physical health, your financial health, your spiritual health, your career, your relationships? Are you intentional about them, or are you just seeing what's going to happen? And, you're like an algae in the sea. If the wind, if the waves blow you, you'll go with the waves and just, you just want to go with the waves. Or is there any intentionality on your path? And if you are being intentional, are you sharing that with anybody? I see a lot of people on here, and I happen to know that you are um, successful in your career and you've climbed ladders. I wonder, are you turning around to make sure you're pulling somebody else with you to help them? Because from the outside looking in, it really, my husband is the prime example of this. He is a very successful business entrepreneur in the lane of fitness and health, nutrition. Very successful, has been for years, has been his own, has owned his own business for years. He makes it look so easy. And so for someone from the outside looking in, because you are successful, because you are good at what you do, because your reputation precedes you for excellence, you make it look so easy, other people can stop right there at the appearance of it and say, oh, I could never be as good as she is. I don't know how he does it. I ain't that good. Let me go on, let me detour. Because you make things look so easy, people don't recognize that you were intentional about it, that you failed but had to get back up, that you got knocked over, that you got swayed, that somebody came and pushed you off your lane, but because you had a lane, you had a plan, you had a path, you were able to get back on it and keep it moving. I understand that many of us are designing with intentionality our plans in all of those areas. In all of those areas. And we're not just being, it's not just happening coincidentally. Are you reaching back to make sure someone is behind you? Is lonely at the top? It shouldn't be. Did you bring anybody with you? That's the question. Did you bring anybody with you? And so seeing him and then hunting him down to talk to him about how he's doing this. Are you designing? The question and the challenge goes out to you in every area of your life. Your financial health. Do you know where you're going? Do you have a plan for every dollar? I was talking with someone yesterday and they said with some tax money and refunds and everything, they're getting back a nice, pretty penny. And I said, do you have a plan for that money? Because if you don't, your money is going to tell you what to do with it. It will tell you where it's going. It will tell you how long it's going to stay in your wallet. It will tell you what it's going to buy if you do not have a plan for your money. Do you have a plan? Are we on a health plan for this year? Because all the plans in the world, if you don't have a healthy body, it's not going to do you too much good. So we got to, start there. And so that's my challenge as we are more than halfway through in February. It's only 28 days. Yesterday was the halfway mark. As we are quickly approaching March, and the first quarter of this calendar year will be here. Are you designing the areas in your life? Are you designing? Are you praying and planning? Are you praying and preparing? Are you rolling your sleeves up after you get up off your knees to do the work so that your life is deliberate, so that it is intentional? So that's my question. That's my question. Please do not pass my question up like, oh, she's still talking about a plan. Yep, I'm still sort of talking about a plan. You need to get deeper. No, I don't need to go deep because we haven't done what was last asked. The last challenge hasn't been accepted and answered. So, though I love learning and I love the beautiful use of language and I am purposeful to make my communicative capacity enlarged. I love all that with a delight and a tingle. But you know what? Some stuff we need to stay simplistic on. So that's the question. Are you designing your life, or is it just happening all around you? And I don't know where the days are going. Slow that thing down. Stay on your lane, in your lane, so that when life happens, you got a lane to get back onto. Okay. Until next time, take real good care of yourselves. And thank you for joining me.